is available. So this is our website. So Beyond Data Science Solutions has a slogan known as Data is Oil. And at Beyond Data, we focus on different areas. And some of the areas are here: data science and analytics. That involves transforming your data into meaningful insights for strategic and decision making. We also do monitoring and evaluation services for the NGOs and any other corporate or organization interested in that. We do field research. Those organizations or individuals who may need help or support in conducting field studies by developing data collection tools and also data visualization and dashboard building and as well reporting. We offer business intelligence services where we can be able to help businesses realize the potential of data they have by looking at the key performance indicators, the KPIs, to see what influences what in businesses. We do data consultancy, overall data consultancy, from data collection to modeling, where we meet some concepts of machine learning and artificial intelligence just based on the data. So this may involve some aspect of natural language processing, things like ChatGPT. Those are natural language processing schemas. So we also deal with machine learning and artificial intelligence, data professional training. That's why we are here, and data visualization services. That involves building interactive dashboards through tools like the BI tools like Power BI, Tableau, and we use different tools for us to be able to accomplish that. So some of the tools are mentioned here. We use Stata, we use R, we use Python, we use Microsoft Excel, we use Power BI, we use Kobo Toolbox for data collection. And yeah, so there are a lot, so we cannot be able to cover that. So this was an update on the previous cohort that we had. This was on the previous cohort that we had, but we have an upcoming cohort which will be starting on July 1st July. We'll be having these tools also for the third cohort. So which will be having Stata, SPSS, SQL, Python, R, but these ones are paid. You have to pay for the facilitation of that. But for Microsoft Excel, we usually consider Microsoft Excel to be the primary tool that whenever you want to start your data career, you must start with Microsoft Excel. That's why we are here today with this free session, but only payment can happen when one needs a certification to show that it was part of this 5 weeks challenge. So about us, those are some of the things that have been covered, and about us. And of course, about us is just that is a leading provider for data professional training and consultancy services. So we specialize in transforming data into actionable insights that drive strategic decision making. So this is just through our comprehensive range of services that include data science, analytics, field research, monitoring and evaluation, research consultancy, business intelligence, and machine learning. And of course, when we talk about machine learning, we must deploy them through artificial intelligence solutions. So having said that, you will stop sharing because this was only sharing a tab on our website just to give an overview of what we do as Beyond Data. So we are here purposely for the Microsoft Excel session. And having said that, I would like to know how many of us are having our laptops with us ready for the session. So maybe you can just show by the raise of hand. Maybe you'll be able to know that you have your laptop with you. Oh, thank you, Jackson. Thank you, Faith. Don't lower your hand. I just want to know because I'll be calling on names so that we can be able to interact, because our sessions are 70% led by the learners, and the facilitator will just be there to guide. Thank you so much. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, so we can lower our hands. Thank you. So I'll just start again by sharing my screen on the next thing I'll share is the Microsoft Excel window. So I'll share the entire screen. just share the entire screen. So just in case you happen not to see my screen, you should be able to raise the alarm. The way of raising an alarm is just to unmute and you excuse me that you're not able to see maybe what I'm talking about. Sometimes maybe you can see my screen moving, but you cannot hear what I'm saying. You can just let me know so that I can pause and sort those technical issues. So I hope we can be able to see my screen. Can I have some reactions if you can be able to see my screen? That is Microsoft Excel. Okay. Thank you. So this is Microsoft Excel, and we have been able to train from the previous cohorts. We've been able to train 71 learners on Microsoft Excel, but also this initiative started by creating YouTube videos on Microsoft Excel. So you can just visit our YouTube channel where you can be able to learn some of the on-demand skills for Microsoft Excel for you to get started. So some of the things that we are going to cover here, there are in-depth versions already on our YouTube channel, so we can be able to as well follow up. So today, we want to focus on data entry in Microsoft Excel. So one way of data entry in Microsoft Excel is just by use of hand, and the second way is the use of form. So, and from there, we are going to validate the data we are going to enter in Microsoft Excel. So there are different ways of validation. We can validate data once we already have the data, or we can validate data before we enter the data. So what I will do, I just want to create here a demonstration on what we are going to do today. So we want to have a case study. For example, you are dealing with employee data. So let me just have here employee data. So I want to call this column emp ID. Some of the things that we can have as records for MP, what are some of the things that we can have as the records for the MP? Can I see that in the chat section? What are some of the things we can record as the database for the employee? Can I see in the chat section? Chat section is open. We can have employee ID. Employee ID, we can have employee phone number, we can have employee age. What else? Employee name. What else can we store for an employee in an organization? Just use the chat section. We have seen phone number, age, ID. ID is already there. Name, address, department. Which level, Faith? Which level? Is it level of education or which level of employee? Maybe manager or something. Okay, the job level. Okay. Maybe an entry level, intermediate level. Okay, salary. Thank you. So we are going to use some of this employee phone number. We are going to use this in this session. So we are going to create different columns for that. So we start by creating a column for an ID, and then we will follow with a column for, let's say, first name. We're going to learn a lot of things from what we are just starting from scratch here. So hope we are also creating the same when you have your laptop. Hope you're also creating the same on your end, so that when we ask you to share your screen, you can be able to show us what you've been able to do. So we are starting with creating column A. We are inserting their employee ID, the first name, column B, last name, column C. So column D, we can have the gender. We forgot gender. I think we forgot gender. Let me see section if someone mentioned gender. Area of specialization, job department, age. Yeah, we forgot gender. Gender is important for us to know if we are inclusive. Inclusive aspect, inclusivity. Okay, gender equality. Okay, so gender, age. Can have here the age. So age, age, we usually prefer date of birth so that you can be able to compute the age of an individual with the time. So we usually prefer DOB, date of birth. when you have the date of birth of someone, you can be able to know their age. Whenever we are in a different year, we will not again ask the employee their age. We will just have their date of birth. We can be able to compute the age from the date of birth and so on and so on. But just for the learning purposes, let's have age here. And we can have here salary department. Let me have here department of the employee, department, the employee. And then here we can have the age or the salary. We already have age, you can have the salary. And then let me see something we left out. We have mentioned the department, date of the deployment, date of employment. That's also important. The date of employment is very important. Employee number, salary, job level, address, where the employee comes from, is good. So let's just have, I think, their phone number. I think is also good because there's something we'd like to show about phone numbers. So let's just have phone numbers here. Phone number. Okay. So as we can see, this is Microsoft Excel, and this is just the simplest kind of, I can say, kind of tabulation, because Excel is in terms of spreadsheets. So this is the simplest tabulation. So I want to just check if we are already there, all of us. Those who have laptops, can I know if we already have the entries for the columns? Because there is something I want us to do. Just want to know if we already have the column names. So I can just press this in the chat section, so that maybe who is not able to see what we are doing. And I can even zoom out a little bit. Let's zoom out to customize to 150. This is how we zoom out the cells, so that's it. Yeah, like that. So once we are here, we want to be able to automatically reshape the columns based on the values that are entered in the column. For example, when you have a long first name, that value will be occupied on the next cell. Will be occupying the next cell. And we don't want that maybe to happen. We want to resize our columns based on the value entries that we have. So what we are doing right now is manual entry in Microsoft Excel. We are going to look at another type of entry that I can just paste this and the next sheet will be able to cover about that. So this is the manual entry we are doing. And now I was talking about being able to automatically resize the columns based on the values that are contained. So I would like us to do that. So you go to Sheets, go to your sheet here, right click, go to your sheet name down here, right click. You can give the name to your sheet. Maybe you're talking about data entry. Let's give it a name, data entry 1. I just want to name it like that, data entry 1 for my case, the first sheet. So I want to be able to automatically resize the values contained in the column. We resize the column based on the values contained. So how can we be able to achieve that? You come to your sheet and then you click on view codes. You just close and go back. You come here, down here, data entry, right click here. For my case, you right click here, you go to view codes. So this will open a VBA sheet for Microsoft Excel, where you can be able to just write a short command that can be able to automatically update the sheets whenever we are putting entries that can exceed the entry we already provided. So we cannot keep on doing like this every time we do like this, every time whenever we have such cases. So we want to avoid such cases. So how do we avoid that? We have said you come here, right click, go to view codes. Here, change from general. Here, change from general, this drop down to worksheet. Change from general to worksheet. We will see an existing commands about the sheets that we are working in. So in between private sub and end sub, I want you to write this code. cells.
Kindly
Dot.
pardon.
Okay, thank you. I'll repeat. So you come here under data entry, the name of your column. Just right click under the name of your sheet, not your column. The name of your sheet down here. You right click, you will see options like insert, delete, rename, move, view code, protect sheet, tab color, hide, and so many options. So you will just go to view code. You'll be able to see this. What you will see first is the general. So you'll be able to change from general to worksheet like this. So from here, hope we are together now. From cells.
Yes.
Right. Okay, thank you. Right, cells dot entire. I will paste this in the chat section, just in case you cannot be able to see. Entire column dot out of it. Cells entire column dot out of it. Cells entire column dot out of it. So I'll come to the chat section. I'll paste there so that you can be able to see that in the chat section. So I have just shared that. What about how long they have been working there, or how long? Okay, that one is also good. Yeah, but we cannot be able to put everything on this. We just want to have a simple kind of database about our employees. But it's good. It's good for us to know how long they've been there, the number of years. So that's why when we have the date of employment, you can be able to compute how long they have been there. Yes. So while capturing data is good for us to know which variables or which data type should we include in our database, so that we avoid things of data redundancy. We avoid data redundancy when we can be able to take something like age, just take the date of birth. You can be able to compute the age of an individual even 5 years to come based on the date of birth that you have. But this one is just a process of learning, but also employment. Date of employment is also important to store because it's easier to compute how long has the employee been there in your organization. That's good. Thank you. So hope we have the code. So copy that code, paste in your worksheet, paste in your VBA worksheet. And once you have that code, just close this and also close this. Close the sheets for the VBA, and you will be led back here. So once you are led here, so let me just check. Let me just check. I don't know what you're getting from your ends.
No any message on my end.
No any message on your end.
Nothing has changed on my end.
Yeah, so I think it's just let me just go to the code back because I think there is typo error and there's a typo error on the.
Yeah, I got some message.
There's a typo error here, so just delete this column. Column is spelled here, so let's just delete that 1L. This command will stop the debugger. Okay. So let me just scroll up. Let me see if I put, yeah. It was the column name, so I think everything has a resized. So just confirm that yours is also working. Just go to the code here and change. I think the code we spelled column. So just remove 1L and everything will be okay. Remove 1L and everything will be okay. So let me copy it again. And you should be able to see that your cells are automatically resizing. So, yeah. Can someone confirm that everything is fine so far?
Sure, yes, it is fine.
Okay, thank you. So once we have this, now whenever we have maybe let me just use the case study. So I want to use manual entry here, manual entry without any validation criteria, and we will also compare with another way of entry. So employee ID, let me say an employee ID maybe is 101. So this is an unique identifier, the unique identifier. We forgot the email address of an employee. That's very, very important. We should have an employee. How will we communicate to the employee when we have suspended them without calling them? So we need to have the email address, because we may suspend them on Friday and we don't tell them to come to work on Monday. So we need to have an email without calling them. Yeah. So right. So there we go. So we can have the first name. Everything will be resizing based on the entry that we have. So let me just use some dummy names here. Something like John Doe, that is short. Everything is fine. What is the gender? The gender of this person is male. And what is the age of this person? If this person is 56 years, the department of this person, so let's say the department of this person is, let's say, accounting, finance. Yeah. Accounting, let's just have that. What is the salary of this person? This person's salary is maybe 40,000. Let's say something like that. What is the phone number of this person? While typing the phone number, maybe we just use 07. These are dummy numbers, so it's not a number for anyone. Hope so. These just dummy numbers. I'm just guessing. So hope everything fine. And what is the email address of the person? The email address, maybe we usually use the first name, which is John, and then we add the domain for the company, which is at example.com. Yes, something like that. At example.com. Something like that. So we have just have our first entry in our sheet. I don't know if you can use anything as long as we have the same columns. As long as we have the same columns, you can use your own entry examples, no problem, but we will all be together. We shall all arrive at the same destination. But we have inserted here our first entry, as simple as we can see here. So I want us to learn something. The first thing we learned is on automatic resizing columns. I want us to learn data validation, where we can save time on typing things we know that they are categorical. Categorical data is a data that is in terms of categories. For example, departments. We can know how many departments an organization has or have. We can know the gender of an individual, male, female, or prefer not to say, or whatever. At least we know the categories. So we start by reducing typing errors by doing data validation. So in the next entry, I want to validate sales here. I want also to validate the salary. I want to validate the age. Age. Yeah, we can validate age as well. We can validate the gender, the gender, and we can validate the department. So we want to do something. So I will allow one of us to do this, because I will allow one of our students to be able to perform this. We want to validate gender. So let me just check. Who is ready? If you are ready, you can just raise your hand. I will give you the permission to share your screen. We will guide you on how you can, what you will do next. So always, when you are willing to learn, you can be able to lead us. So who is ready? You can raise your hand so that you can lead us in this session. We want to learn about data validation. Who is ready? No one. Okay. No. You are the first one to join the session, and you are ready anyway. That's good. Thank you. Now let me stop sharing, and I will allow you to share. share your screen, share your screen, share your screen, share your screen, so that we can be able to learn about data validation. Hope you share you can see the share. Yeah, there we go. So I will suggest that you share the entire, you join while sharing the entire screen, so that we will be opening other windows on top of that Microsoft Excel window, so that we can be able to see it. So for us to see the other windows that will be opening on top, we suggest that you share your entire screen. Jackson, back to you. Jackson, we had started sharing, but we cannot be able to see now. Okay, we can now be able to see. Okay. So, what Jackson will have to do is to go to the cell below gender for male. Just go to the cell below male. So that cell is active. In Microsoft Excel, we usually have a workbook. A workbook contains several sheets, like you can see sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3. On top of Microsoft Excel is the Microsoft Excel ribbon, which contains home, insert, page layout, formulas, data, tab, review, and view. So, and others you can as well add them depending on the needs. On how we use Microsoft Excel. There are a lot we can be able to manipulate. And then down there, you can see the taskbars, the things you can be able to do, some short commands, shortcuts, icons for copy, cut, paste, format painter, and all that. So, for the purposes of data validation, we will go to the data tab. Go to data tab. Under data tab, when you check under data tools, group known as data tools, there is get external data, there is connections, there is sort and filter, there is data tools. If you can see data tools to your right, yeah, from text to column, go to remove duplicates, then go to validation, data validation, go to data validation. Yes, click that, data validation, click data validation. So when you click on data validation, hope we are all there. So we said you go to data tab, then you go to under data tools, go to data validation. You click on the drop down, you will see data validation dialog box opening. When it opens, we can be able now to validate what we want to validate. For our case, we want to validate gender. So under settings, under validation criteria, under allow, under that drop down known as any value, click on that drop down, click on list. We want to create a list of gender entries that we know. So because it is categorical, we can be able to do this. So under source, once you select list, go to source. Under source there is a text box that is there. Click in the text box for source. No, not there. Just the inside there, yes. Inside the source, yeah, that one. So there you can be able to type the gender. So in this case, we already have male. So type male and then comma, then type female. Type male, comma, female. Male, comma, female. Just ensure typo is not available. Female, also I'm saying clearly in the system. Okay, that's okay. That's okay. Male, female. Okay, now you can, before you click on OK, we want to see an input message. An input message that when someone hovers alongside that range, can be able to be told that select from the drop down. So click on input message. Click on input message. And the input message, go to title. So when cell is selected, show this input message. So the title is just use the input message as your title. Just type there input message. You can type anything that you want. So put there input message alerts. You can just add input message alerts so that you can see that input message alerts. Yeah, something like that. Then the input message, right there, a message just like select from the drop down. Select from the drop down. Select from the drop down. So that means that when someone hovers or selects that cell, will be told to select from the drop down and not type and not manual typing. Okay. Then go to error alerts. So suppose someone fails to select from the drop down, what error alert will the person get? So maybe in this case, just change from stop to warning. There's a drop down there under sign, stop, change it to warning or information. Just go to information. I think information is better for gender. Gender is not that sensitive. Yeah, and then now title we can give it error message alert. Just type in the title, error message alert. Error message alert. Error message alert. Error message alert. So the error message, under error message, is that you can say invalid inputs. Invalid input. Select from the drop down. 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 Okay, then you click on OK. Hope you are all there. The rest of us, hope you are all there before you click on OK. If you are not there, please let us know where we have left you so that we can move all together. Okay. So what you will do, are we together? Can someone confirm if we are all together?
I can't seem to see the data validation.
You cannot see your data validation. There is always an icon. If you cannot see the data validation name, there is always an icon. There is always a data validation. Check for the icon, but we will allow you to share your screen so that we can be able to help you where necessary. So click on OK, Jackson. When you click on OK, you can now already see the input message there, select from the drop down. So that one enables you to avoid the issues of manual typo errors when it comes to gender. So before you select anything there, Jackson, we want you to click outside that cell. Click back to the cell. Click back to the cell. So we want you to apply that to other cells down. To apply that to the cells down. So how do you apply that? You should go to the bottom corner of that. Active cell and drag bottom right corner. It should bring a kind of a symbol, an addition symbol to the bottom corner of that cell. You can just expand it, manually expand it so that you can be able to, yeah, that one, yes, that symbol, yes. Drag to up to maybe cells row 6. Just drag that to row 6. Just drag that to row 6. Okay. Okay, so click out. Click to any cell that you dragged in that range. You see now that it will have already applied there as well. We have already applied there as well. And that is nice. So we have done that for gender. And I would like someone else to help us do that for department. You will have to add a department, Jackson. We'll have to add a department later. We cannot see your department. Yeah. So Marilyn, you had an issue, so I request that you share your screen. Jackson, maybe now you can stop sharing so that Marilyn we can sort her issue, as she will be helping us to create a drop down for department for anyone who wants to get behind. So Marilyn, you can share your screen. Marilyn, you can share your screen so that we can be able to help you locate the data validation. And I request that you share the entire. Thank you. It's the entire. Now, just dismiss that and go to your Excel. So that icon, you see under data tools, there is just that immediate icon is the icon for data validation. That one is the icon for data validation. So just click the data drop down, you will see data validation. Click on the data validation. And under any values, so I suggest that we use this for department rather than we repeat for the same gender. So I want you to go to the cell next to just below finance. Yes, below finance there. We want to validate that department so that you can all do that later from gender. So data validation, click on that. And then now under any value, provide a list. Change the value, drop down to lists. And then source there, you can either use already existing source. You can either use already existing source. That means that you can have a list of a source somewhere where you can be able to select that range for your department. But you can as well manually type under that source. So for purpose of learning, the first way of learning, we learned the manual way. So I want us to use, maybe you have a table for the departments for your organization. So I'd like you to close that drop down first. Close that drop down first. That's dialog. Close the dialog. Close the dialog for data validation. Close the entire dialog for data validation. Just close it at the top. Or cancel. Close it. Yes. Now go to cell O4. Cell O4. Go to cell O4. Type there title department. Type there department. And now you can suggest some short department names so that we can save on time. So right there, departments, and then now below that cell, which is cell O5, right there, the names of the department. So write one department, next another department. So you can have finance, you can have we have a lot of departments until I'm forgetting. We have IT department. We have which department do we have in this world? Because there are a lot of departments. There are several departments.
HR.
Yes, the HR department. We have a lot of departments.
Research.
Jackson,
Research department.
research. IT is usually stock research, but we can have research depending on the type of organization. Customer care.
Data.
Right?
Data.
Data is under IT. Data is usually under IT, but that's okay. So we can have the last. Let's have customer care as the last one. We can have an unlimited list, but let's just stop at customer care. But data is in line with IT because you cannot develop anything without data. So you have to work with the data person. Yeah. So that is customer care. Okay. So once we have that, now we can go to where we were under department finance. That's cell next to it, cell E3, and then now go to data validation. Now data validation. So just do the procedure. Now we select the range, leave alone the department's title, select from the finance to customer care, like that. And then click on the drop down to go back, the drop up to go back like that. So stop there first. You may be too fast. So I think you should repeat the process so that we can see what's happening to the rest of us. So what we've just done is to select the range for the department rather than going and typing them one by one. Yeah, we can have an administrative department. Yeah, thank you for that. We can have that on your end, there's no problem. And now once we select the range like that, now we already have the source. Now we can go to input message. Input message, you can put there an input message. So you can put input message, you can put anything. We don't restrict you to what to put, but it should be relevant. So title, you must give the title of your error. You must give the title for the input message. Select the input message. Maybe you can just say input message as the title. Never forget the title because title is important than even the message. It may be confusing sometimes, but it's not mandatory to have the title. You can just have the message alone if you don't want title. So please do that. Not only we are depending on you, just write anything you think is may be relevant for that scenario. Yes, Jackson, do you have a question?
Yeah, I got lost somewhere. How
Yes.
do you choose the source?
Or while selecting the source?
Yeah.
Marilyn, I had requested that you repeat on how to select the source.
I didn't see that part.
Just go to settings. Okay, just close everything, no problem. So go to the department under finance, go to the department and then under finance. First of all, go to the department under finance, make the cell active. The cell you want to set that you must make it active, and you go to the data validation under data tab. Under settings, change from any value to lists. And then after that, under source, Marilyn, this low, that's why you are repeating. So under source, you click on the upload icon that you see on your right. So you go to the upload icon, you click on the upload icon, you click on it, and then you go to the departments that you have. You select the range for the departments that you have. Select the range for the departments that you have. After that, now you upload. It's already uploaded like that. Before you click OK, Marilyn, you go to input message. You go to input message, you give the title. Marilyn, your PC wants to shut down, and we are in the process. We are in the process of this. So hope it will give us a minute to finish this. So title, you can say input message. Just, it's not a must that you must have the title, but you can just have input message there as a title, and then maybe input message alert, and then you go to input message, you can say select departments from the drop down, select department from the drop down, select department from the drop down. So once you have the input message, you have to put the input error alert, or else Microsoft Excel will just use its default. But it's good for you to change from the style. You can use stop, you can use warning, you can use anything, information, and then you give the title error message. You can just give error message, and then as your title, error message, type error message as your title, error message as your title. error message as your title, and then error message there, the message itself, you can say invalid input, select from the drop. Invalid input, select from the drop down. Okay, so once we've done that, you can apply that to the remaining cells along the column. Stop there. Marilyn, you're applying everywhere. We are just using this for the purposes of learning. So, okay, thank you. So it's already set. So once you have done that, thank you, Marilyn. I think that's okay. I want someone else to share for salary, because salary is a different scenario, unlike the one for list. So we use only list when we have categorical data. When we have categorical data, we use list when we have categorical data. When we have continuous data like salary, age, we cannot be able to use list because it is continuous. So, Sharon, do you have your laptop with you? Oh,
No.
okay. Faith, do you have your laptop with you? Faith,
Yes.
can you be able to share your screen?
Okay.
Yeah, please share your screen, and we will be able to guide you. So someone else should prepare to show us on how to validate age, and should be a male gender. We are balancing the gender. So Faith, please share your screen, and let's see how we can validate continuous data. So you only shared the window, but I would suggest that you stop sharing and you share the entire screen, because we will not be able to see the dialogue for that data validation if you share the only window.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, we can see your screen now. You can go to Excel. Okay. Okay. So below salary, I want you to go to, yeah, that one, that cell. I want you to go to data validation. So because this is continuous, go to settings. Under any value, change that drop down to whole number. Change that drop down to whole number. But of course, you can change it to decimal depending on how your salary looks like. And then you see there now you have an option of between. So why are we validating salary? Remember, we are dealing with zeros and ones and twos and threes and fours. We may forget, and instead of writing 10,000, we pay someone 100,000. Maybe we in our input we input 100,000, and now we encounter problems on accounting where this started messing up. So between, we can restrict once we know the range of the salary of our people. For example, the minimum salary for our people, we can say maybe it's just 10,000. So under minimum, type 10,000. Under minimum, type 10. Under maximum, just type 100,000. We're just using this for example, 100,000. And then we can go to input message. You can go to input message. So this one helps. Why is this important to put input message? This is because you will forever not be with that department or that organization. But when someone else can be able to know what was this about and what were the limits. So it's very important to give an input message. It's just like comments in coding. Putting comments on your code is good. So under the title, you can give input message alert. Input message alert. Give it input message alert. Under title, give it input message alert. Input message alert. Under input message, you can give it invalid salary. Okay, no, that one is input, sorry. That is an error, it is not invalid. So you can say the salary range must, salary ranges between, delete that and write, salary ranges between 10,000, salary ranges between 10K and 100K. Salary ranges between 10K and 100K. So someone may know that this is the maximum, this is the minimum. And then under error alert, now go to error alert, copy it together. That one is now stopped because salary is very sensitive. So we can use stop. And then under title, we can say error message alert, error message alert, error message alert, error message alert. And then the input message is invalid salary input. Please read the input message. Yes, invalid input, invalid salary input. Please read the input message. Invalid salary input. Please read the input message. Then now, once we have done that, we can click on OK. Can click on OK. So you can see now we have that. So whenever someone is coming, so we can just apply that to other cells, maybe to up to cell, yeah, some cells just for learning, yeah, up to there. So it's already there. So you can just check if it has applied to that entire range. Yeah. So that's how we apply that. So it is now it's time for testing. It's time for testing. Don't stop sharing. It's time for testing. We wanted to test and see what we will be able to get as an input error. So for example, instead of 10,000, you input a value of 1,000. Input there a value of 1,000. Put there a value of 1,000. You see the error? The error is invalid salary input. Please read the input message. That is the importance of learning data validation in Excel, so that we can be able to validate data even as it comes in. So when you click on retry, it will enable you to change the value. So at least you are now, you already have the information. Now you can change the value to the value that is within the range. You can put a value, yeah, within the range will be accepted. Maybe a value beyond 100,000. Try another cell, a value beyond 100,000. When you click on cancel, you see, it will be able to remove that. So that's how we validate data, continuous data. So you can do that for age, whenever maybe we have data that we must employ people above 18 years and maybe below 75 or below 65 or below whatever age. So we can be able to validate that. So Faith, thank you so much. Unless there is a question from our members. Is there a question on data validation? Anyone who is left behind? Okay, so let me share my screen again and okay, hope we can be able to see my screen. So we have done data validation there. So for me, I was giving instructions, so I was not able to do that. So we want to learn something else here. I want us to, for example, you want to combine first name and last name to have the full name of an employee. So that's what we want to learn next. And then from there, we will learn something else next. Okay, so I will right click here. When I right click here, I want to insert a column. So Excel automatically inserts column to the left. Excel always inserts column to the left. Hope you are together. We are saying Excel usually inserts column to the left. When I put here, Excel will insert a column here, but I don't want that column here. So I'll come to gender and then right click and then click on insert to insert a column here known as full name. So full name should not be an input, should be automatically computed from first name and last name. So that one brings us to something we call functions in Excel. So we can use a function known as proper, concatenate. No, we have a lot. Concats. So we'll use a function known as concats. Proper will come to proper later. We usually combine proper with this, so that's why I was mentioning it. So we use a function in Excel known as concat. Concat stands for combining, like enables you to combine text 1, text 2, text 3, and so on and so on. So concat, which cell you want to concat this cell? You see, I'm referencing to the first name cell known as John for my case. I separate with a comma. I should put a space in between. If I don't put a space in between, what will I get? Let me just do that without putting the space in between, like that. You close. So we are just using the concat function in Excel to be able to combine the first name and the last name. So we are not leaving space in between. So we will not be able to read our full name properly. So let's just execute that, and then we will come back and add the space that is required. So I'll press enter. I can see John Doe as one word, but now I don't want John Doe to be one word. For example, you are dealing with 10,000 employees, data for 10,000. So you cannot keep on combining this. Oh, this is John, this is Doe. So you combine John Doe. Again, this is this, then you type. So you cannot manually type that. You cannot be able to finish. So let me just add some space here. So to add space, you have to provide blank space in double quotes or single quotes. Blank space in double quote or single quote as you separate it with a comma. Separate comma. So it will be B2 comma. You open the speech marks. You leave space in between the speech marks, and then comma, and then you reference to your last name. So when you press on enter here, you'll be able to see John Doe when it is in the best way it's supposed to be. Let me just have here another input, maybe Jen hello. Let me have something like that. So I don't want to type this. I want to take from this formula going downwards. I want to take from this formula. I just double click here. Whenever I have how many entries I have here, they will automatically autofill. Let me just repeat that stage. We said you type first name, last name. So you want full name. Come to this cell. You can either drag manually, you can just drag by hand like this to apply to other cells, or you can just come here and rest your cursor here and double click. When you double click, it will be able to fill. So when you have even 10,000, they will automatically fill down like that. Then from gender here, I can be able to select from the drop down. So I have not created my drop down yet because I was giving instructions. So I go to data, I go to data validation, I go to any value, I go to list. I provide here male, female. Male, female, and I don't want to put input male and be able to input that, but let me just leave it like that. So from there now I can have my drop down. So I can change here from male to female. This is female. and then the age maybe is 45, and the department, I have not provided the drop downs, but I suggested that we provide the drop downs. So quickly, I will just provide my drop downs. So I'll come to data here. So I'll change from any value to list. And then from the source, maybe I can just have the accounting as one of my departments, maybe it is just finance and IT, and I can have HR. Let me just have 3 for the cases of learning. And I can change this, maybe it's HR, and maybe the salary, maybe I restrict. Of course, we've seen how restriction works, so I will not restrict. Let me just proceed like this. So phone number, this person phone number starts with 01, that. So let me just check 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Let me just add another number, just using these demo numbers. And then under email address, we are forming employee email addresses based on their first name and the company domain. So I will not manually type the first name and the company domain. I will use a function, which is just concatenate. So I'll use concatenate here, concat. So concat is just the advanced concatenate. It's like building on top of concatenate. So that's why I'm using it, but it does the same thing. It does the same thing. So concatenate and concat does the same thing. So under concat, so I will come to the first name. So you click on the first name like this. You see, is equal to concat, you open, you click on first name, comma, and then you provide your domain at example in speech in the quotes, because is a string. Is a string. String means is a text. String means it is a text. So like that, so you can be able to say equal to concat, we open, B3, we reference to the first name, and then comma, and then now we provided the domain. So we can be able to create 1,000 emails using just the function. So when I hit enter, I have this function. And maybe the function here is starting with capital J, and I want it to be small. So what I will do, I will use lower function in Excel. So in Excel, you can be able to combine as many functions as possible. So I want to use lower function in Excel to convert the output that I am getting here to lowercase. Hope I'm not too fast. So we are converting the output we get here to lowercase. That means that anytime we have any kind of misalignment here, it can automatically be updated here to lowercase when we want that. And then now I can press enter. Now I have Jen, who is in lowercase. Suppose I make another entry here, 103. James, hey, where are my names? J. Let me use another name, Henry. Kituku. Yeah, these are demo names, but I want this to autofill. So let me just click here to autofill. And everything adjusts. And then the gender here, I am supposed to select from the drop down. So what I'll do, I don't want this to be female. So first of all, I'll delete. And then now I will apply this down. I will apply this down like that. So I can now still change this to female. What I have done, that is because I did not want female to be applied here and Henry is male. So that I can just do that. And then I can provide the age of Henry is 23. And the department, let me just drag this. I'll change the department to IT. From here, change it to IT. And then I can provide the salary of this guy. Let me say maybe something 70,000. Yeah, that's process of learning. And maybe the phone number. This number I'm guessing, please. I'm guessing. So if it happens to be yours, you are not lucky. Okay, so let me just use, okay. And then the email address, we are doing the same thing. So I will come here and I'll just drag. I will not write the formula again. I'll just drag like this, and I will have Henry at example of that. So this is how we enter data in Microsoft Excel. And let me say I try to write here something that is not supposed to be here. For example, this one I type mail, and maybe I forget the L, I like that. I'll get a notification. So this value doesn't match the data validation restrictions defined for this cell, because for me, I did not provide the input message and the error alert. So this is the overall Microsoft Excel concept that enables us to validate that. So I can just say retry, and you can be able to retry, or if it fails, you can just say cancel and stuff like that. So this helps us to ensure that the data is valid. So how do we check if our data is valid? How do we check if our data is valid? So in the range of your data, you can check if data is valid by going to under data validation here. You go to cycle invalid data. You have to cycle invalid data. So you click on it. For me, I don't have any invalid data. So that's why you don't see any circle anywhere. But if it happens to be like that, let me just try something else here to see if we can be able to, let me use here as decimal. Let me just try something like decimal, data validation, any value, decimal, between, let me just, this is edge, but I'm using decimal just for the purposes. And I can just say 18 to 35. Let me just use that and then click on OK. And yes, now this has been validated. So suppose I put 65, I get an error alert, retry. So I cannot be able to assume, I cannot be able to ignore that. So that's the power of data validation. So there is no way out. You have to follow the rules. So maybe to confirm with members, so far, how is the session? I would like to see the reaction. I would like to see the reaction in the, you can use the reactions. Are we together? Are we together? Are we together?
I missed the formula for concatenate.
Formula for concatenate. Thank you.
I'm missing.
Are we together? Okay. Jackson will be able to repeat that. Okay, thank you. So the concatenate formula, in Microsoft Excel, you can combine as many formulas as possible for you to be able to achieve what you want to achieve. So concatenate is equal to concat. So concat takes text 1, text 2, text 3, text 4, text 5. So for example, let me show you using this phone number. So for example, you have these entries for phone number, and you want to correct this phone number. For example, when you usually use something like African Talkings, we usually want to send thousands bulk SMS to people. So when you want to send bulk SMS, they must be in a country coded phone numbers, because when this phone number, I add another country code, it will be a phone number for someone else, and it will not be the one maybe I intended. So I want to use that concatenate to do that. So I'll say concat, and I want to use the country code for Kenya. So I will put it in quotes to be like a string, 254 plus 254, comma, plus 254, comma. You must do this for this because concatenate is used to combine text. That's why you see our numeric, we are converting them to be like text. And then now we reference to this cell. Let me say I reference here, or let me just create a new column with the plus 254. So I can have here a column known as phone number, phone plus 254, phone in bracket when they are in plus 254 format. Yes. Yeah. And then now I want to do for this. So I'll just say equal to concat, and then into quotes plus 254, close the quotes. Let me just move that side. Okay. Then comma. Now, I think I'm zoomed. I've zoomed is okay. Then I reference to this cell. I just reference to this cell because numbers, we want to combine them. So sometimes we get phone numbers from a Google form, from a Kobo toolbox, from anywhere, any data source that you are using. They are not usually consistent. So you have to clean data, you have to truncate, you have to remove. Some other numbers may come with 0 existing already. So you have to trim things for you to have correct data. So it is not always going to work as easy as this. Sometimes I usually encounter complicated scenarios that involves utilization of combination of several formulas for you to be able to achieve what is required. So like this, now you can be able to combine these numbers to +254. You can be able to combine these numbers to +254. So you can just drag like this, and now someone can be able to copy this and just send messages. Now it is easier compared to this. You cannot do anything with these phone numbers because you don't know which country are they from. And it's very important for you to know the country code or something like that. So the concatenate function takes text values like text1, text2, text3. You can see text1, text2, text3. You can combine as many as possible depending on the problem you have. You see, I have used concatenate to full name. I have used concatenate for email. I have used concatenate for phone number. So you can use it in different scenarios. Are we together, Jackson?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. Is there a question from a member? No question. So suppose you have this number and you want to truncate it back to this format. What do you think we should do to this number? For example, you are told we don't want +254 on this number, but we want this number. What can you be able to do? And you have 10,000 numbers. What will you do? Can I get reactions from the members? Just unmute and tell us what you can be able to do in such scenario. What will you do? Dickens, are you talking?
Oh, have I unmuted?
Yes, yes.
I'm not even aware, ndo nimeingia kwa nyumba. Anyway,
Okay. Yes.
I think you can use a truncate formula, which you are now truncating the first 4 digits, the first 4 values. That is the +254.
Oh, so you want to?
I'm thinking, some kind of saying you create another column.
Yes.
Then you use that formula.
Which formula?
Truncate. Then
you select the number.
You select that cell. Another cell of the numbers of the first 4 digits. Sorry?
Yeah, so we select.
You select a book close.
Here, you can check here in the formula bar. I'm typing in the formula bar. Equal to trunc. Trunc is for truncate.
Then for the first 4 digits.
For the first, so what are you suggesting, Dickens? Do we select this phone number, or do we provide 4?
I think you should. You are right.
I cannot get you, but you are.
No, sorry. Let me review
Dickens,
it.
you mean
yes?
That?
Huh?
Okay.
Yeah.
You mean that?
Yeah, that. I would try.
Okay. Dickens.
Let me review it first. Then I share.
Okay,
yeah.
Dickens.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so yeah, that's nice. That's nice. That's nice. So for me, let me use right. So for me, I will use right formula to select from this. I select 9 characters. I'll select 9 characters. For me, I'll use right formula to take. I will not use to drop, or rather, I will use to take. So we have left formula, we have right formula in Excel. Right means you will be starting from the right. You are picking 9 digits from the right. Left means you are taking those number of digits you are taking from the left, and you will only get the result of that left values. So here for me, I'll use right. So I'll say equal to right, and then I select K2, and then 9. So I will have my number here. I will have my number here, and I can double tap here to get everything down. What if I use left is equal to left? So left, what will you do? It will only take the 254. So for this case, I will only use 4 to capture the first 4 entries from the left. When I hit enter, I get the plus 254. Hey members, are we together? Members, are we together?
Yeah, we get it.
Okay, thank you, Deacon. So we are using right to take. Can I get reactions? Are we together, members? Are we together? Faith, are we together? Are we together? Okay, Jackson. Faith, are we together? Okay, thank you. Sharon, are we together?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, that means everything is okay, unless there is a question. But now we can proceed. So that's a concept that is usually handy, especially when you are relied upon as a data person. So you should be able to handle such scenarios. So sometimes they're usually complex. You meet others, people provided their numbers in brackets like this. So you have to see the best way you can be able to handle such scenarios. So you can explore more when you get time on that. So we can proceed to something else. So from this, what we have learned here, I'll just drop these other columns. They were just used for learning purposes, but just to mention out some other concepts that relates to what we are learning. So let me just clear those content. I remain with my original data here. So what we want to do next, we want to use form. We want to use form. We are learning data entry. We want to use form. We want to use form. So we go to the sheet 2, which contains the column names. Let me just copy these column names again. I think I added email address. So open a new sheet and paste that. So remember, this sheet does not have the formula we had for automatically resizing the columns. So this sheet requires us to do that for it to automatically resize the columns. So remember here, we went here. Sometimes when you have original data, you can just go to view code, and instead of typing the code, you can just copy the code. And then now you close the sheet, you close this sheet, and then go to the sheet 2, right click, and then go to view code and change from general to worksheet and paste that code here. And then now you close this also, and then you close this also. So everything will be resizing based on the size of the entries in the column. Hope we are together. So for us to cover this, I would like someone to share the screen so that we can discuss this together. Because when I do it on my end and I already have form enabled in Microsoft on my Microsoft Excel, so I'll not be helping when I am showing this, you do this, you do this. So it's better I guide someone to help us do that. I wanted a gentleman to lead us through this step. Who is ready? Who is ready? Who is ready? Who is ready? Okay, okay. Obed, I see Onuko is leaving the call because I said the gentleman should share the screen. Okay, Obed, are you having your laptop? You will share the screen, we will guide you. You should not leave the call. We will guide you on what to do so that you can learn while doing. That's what we prefer. The best way of learning is learning by doing. So, Obed, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm with you, but I might not be able to connect my laptop with.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Share.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. So let me ask Faith Kahindi. The other one was Faith Cherotich. So Faith Kahindi, can you share your screen? John Rolex is also leaving. We said we are now going back to ladies. Please don't leave the call. So Faith Kahindi, can you be able to share your screen? Let us know. I'm not ready. Okay, thank you. Wendy. Okay, Jackson, no problem. Wendy.
My laptop is not working well.
Okay, so thank you. So I think I will recommend Faith again. Faith, she will teach. If you can be able to share your screen. Hey, Faith, if you are talking, we cannot hear you.
No, I
Okay.
can't share. Okay. So the first thing to do, we are already there, right? So the first thing to do, we have to check if the form is enabled in our Excel. When we look at this Excel, from my point of view, I don't see the form enabled. So when you check at the quick access bar icons, at the top, we have save icon, we have undo, we have redo, undo, and there is quick access bar icon as well. Just there at the top, we cannot see the form at the top. So what we do, and for everyone who is seeing this, you go to file, go to options, more. I can't see options there. For you, I see more. So go to more options. Then when you are here, go to quick access toolbar. And under quick access toolbar, you can only see save, you can only see redo, you can only see undo on your right. So we want to be able to add their form icon in that category so that we can easily access the form and be able to enter data efficiently. So change under choose commands, change to all commands. From popular commands, change to all commands. From popular commands, change to all commands. Then wait a minute for it to load all the commands. And now they are arranged in alphabetic order. So you should scroll to form. Scroll down to F and then scroll form. There is the form. Click on it, then click on add. There is an add in between the two what? Yeah, click add. Yeah, so we have added form there. So that's how we do. And then you can click on OK. Okay, now you can see there's an additional icon added. That is the icon for form. So let me confirm if we are there. Jackson, are we there?
Yes, we are.
Okay. Marilyn, are we there? Okay. Faith, Kaindi, thank you. Marilyn, are we there? Okay. Moffat, thank you. Okay. Marilyn, okay. So we have enabled form in our Excel. Thank you, Agnes. And I think Agnes is sharing feedback form in the chat section. So we should be able to have a look on that so that we can be able to give feedback. And also we'll be sending an assignment via email. So you should be able to give your feedback so that we can access have your email for the assignment that will be given. Okay, so from here, we have already enabled our form. You click on the form. So first of all, you start by providing the names of the columns. You start by providing the names of the columns. Once you have the names of the columns of your data, you now click on the form. Once you click on the form, click on OK. After you see that dialog, click on OK, and you will see your form. So I would like you, Faith, to drag that form to reposition it at the center of your Excel. Yeah, nice. Thank you. So here we can be able to insert what we want to insert in Excel. We can be able to insert now values. Rather than typing everything by hand, we can be able to use the Microsoft Excel form. So there you can put the entries. You can put the first entry. I would like you, Faith, to give us the first input. And then Obed, you'll give us the second entries, the second detail for the employee ID, for the employee, sorry. So Faith, Faith Kahindi, can you give us the entries for the first employee? Just unmute and tell us employee ID, this, first name, this, last name, this. You will skip full name. You will go to gender, age, department, salary, phone number, and email. You will skip email. Can you do that, please? Faith Kahindi? If you're not in a position, you can let us. Maybe you are in a noisy place. So I just suggest that Cherotich, you proceed with the input. So just give them some dummy input there. So you can use tab to navigate to the next text box. Tab, not enter. Not enter, you use tab.
What do you mean by tab?
Oh, there is an icon on your laptop or if you're using desktop, known as tab. You can just check there a tab key.
Oh, the tab for
Tab key on your laptop. So full name, don't provide full name. Just click on tab and then go to gender. Now provide the gender of the person. You did not give us the last name. Oh, the last name is there. Okay, thank you. Age, department, just use short things, maybe IT, maybe HR, as simple as that. Salary, you can provide the salary, any value you want, and then you can provide the phone number. And then Agnes is also reminding us, for those who are not in the WhatsApp group, there is a link there to join the WhatsApp group and the feedback form as well. So phone number is there, then the email address, you just leave it. And for you to submit, you just press enter to submit, enter to submit, enter to submit. So you can be able to create new inputs and so on and so on. You can also fetch back your previous inputs under find previous, find next, whenever you have several data to fetch and correct where possible, and again resubmit back. So that is the concept that we have learned under form. And the disadvantage is that we cannot be able to work with it using drop downs. We cannot use drop downs in the form. Form is only limited to things that do not involve drop downs. That's the challenge with the form. So you can just close that form, Faith, and now I want you to provide the formulas for full name and the formula for email, so that now when we input the second entry, we can be able to see changes. So for full name, we are using concat to join the first name and the last name. So select the cell, comma, and then the double quote space in the double quote, space in the double quote, provide space inside the double quote, provide the space inside the double quote, and then also you add the last name. You have not provided the last name. For full name there, inside the full name, after the double quote, provide a comma. After the double quote, provide a comma, and now select the last name. Okay, you can now press your enter. You can leave space in between your double quote for you to have enough space. You can leave as much space as you want inside the double quote for you to have enough space as possible. Like that. And now you can press on enter, and there you go. So go to email also. So email is being provided, being computed from the first name and the domain. So concat, then you reference to the first name, which is Mark, and comma, and then you can provide into the double quote the domain at example.com. At example.com. Close, enter. So you can see Mark is in capital with capital M, and maybe we want to have it small letters, so we'll add another formula, another function to it known as lower. We will add a before concat lower, then open your, don't leave space, just open your curly brackets and then close your curly brackets.
I use curly brackets.
No, the one you used is just parentheses. No, just parentheses, no problem.
Okay.
The ones you used is just correct.
I use
And
the normal.
yeah, the normal. Just use the normal. It's just okay. Press enter. And now there we go. So I want you to apply the cells. I want you to apply the email to the second. Yeah. And then also just proceed, no problem. Proceed to the full name also, do the same. Full name also do the same. Apply that to the cell below. Nice. Now go and again to the form and provide inputs for the second. It will just know that it's supposed to submit there. So just click on new. Click on new. It will usually fetch back what is already existing. So click on new. And then now you can start providing some dummy there. So you see, full name will not be available for you to input because the formula is there to compute from the existing. So like that. And then you can, yeah, like that. You are now providing for Faith because she did not want to provide with us. Now you are using her as an input. Anyway, that's nice. So that's HR, and then you provide the salary, and then you provide the phone number. Okay. So from there you can press enter to submit. Enter to submit. And close your everything. So it has done what? It has ignored. What has it done?
It ignored the second one.
It ignored the second one. So you can I think it just used the behind idea, but it was not able to utilize what we wanted it to do. Of course, let's try to fetch. Just click there. Just click the third cell that's containing data, and click on the form. Just click not there, just click somewhere else. Yeah, then click on the form. So let's try to see if we can fetch if that row exists in the memory of our form. Not that far. Go to the area. Just select 231.
Pardon? Or employee ID?
Yeah. And then select your form. So I want you to, you see it's telling us 1 of 3. So I want you to find next, because find next. Yeah, find next. We see what is in the next. You see, there is nothing there. We only see example address down below. So that means we can be able to, it was already captured. It had already been captured as an input when we provided the formula. So it could not detect that. It is depending on that for us to autofill. So we can update here, and it will be able to be updated on the main database.
Okay, so
just
when
provide
when I update, I can give a different employee ID number.
Yes, provide a different employee number. It will update in the original database. Just provide any other number, and the last name, and the gender, the age, the department, and the salary. Salary phone number. So once you do that and you submit, it should be able to submit there. Enter. Let's press enter. You see, it has updated to the original. So you can be able to close there. So this is another way of entering data in Excel. So we can use form, or we can use the manual entry of data. So suppose we have full name and we want to get first name and last name. Yes, it's very important for us to learn that. Suppose we have full name and we want to get first name and last name in Excel. So how do we do that? So we want to, I think Faith will just proceed sharing. So we want to do that. So I want Faith to create a new column, call that new column first, and the next column, call it last. So that's what we want to learn here, how we can be able to separate. Yeah, just leave it the way it is, no problem. So I want you to select the full name column with its values. No, not that way. That one is autofilling, is not selecting. Selecting, you don't go to the bottom corner. Selecting, you don't go to the bottom corner. Just select, click on the cell, and just highlight by shift, yeah, like that. And then now you go to, you see text to column. Can you see under data? There is, under data tools, there is text to column. Data tools, text to column. Under data tools, just immediately before validation, data validation, before data validation. Before data validation, text to column. Yes,
This
click
one.
on that. Yes, click on that, please. So there, what we see is just formulas. So that means that for us to split text to column, we have to do away with the formula. So how do we do away with the formulas? So I suggest, Faith, that you close that, you cancel first, and let's copy that full name, copy that range you selected, copy it, Control-C to copy. Can Control-C to copy, then go to sheet, open a new sheet. We want to show this on a new sheet so that we don't complicate everything here. So on a new sheet, no, you don't paste. I want to show you how you paste. Because
Okay,
when you
on
press
a new sheet.
go to accept. So go to make cell A1 active and click.
Pardon?
So this is how right click inside that cell and then go to paste special. Under paste special, you go to paste values 1, 2, 3. Things you see 1, 2, 3. Yes, that one. Click on it. So you have pasted. Now your data is no longer a function. Your data is no longer a function. We are saying you copy the full name, you open a new sheet, and then you paste special. Under paste special options, you paste values only. So it is no longer a function. So there is where now we can apply text to column. So you can go to the sheet 2 and take first name and last name, first and last columns we created recently. Take the columns we created recently, first name, first and last, those columns, take them, copy, cut, Control X, cut, Control X to cut, and then go to sheet 3, and now paste them there under that. Just Control V to paste, Control V, paste. Okay. Then, now we want to split the full name. We can now comfortably split the full name. So you select the column for the full name, and now you go select the column for the full name, select that data range. Yeah. Now you can go to text to column to preview. Click on text to column to preview. Like that, we can see we can preview now what we want to do. That's how the original data is, and we want to split it. Now you can click on next. Click on next. So under next here, you select the delimiter. This is how we split data. So sometimes you may get text data, you may get any kind of data. You should be able to split that data using this criteria. This is the only criteria that Excel can be able to split your data. But of course, you usually have a formula, text split, to be able to split that. But with this is the easiest way of navigation on how to can be able to split data in Excel. So we are using space. We are separating data based on space. So check the space. You
What
see now.
about
No, just leave it. I want you to uncheck. Uncheck first of all space and see the data preview. Leave the tab the way it is. You can see how the data looks like. So when you check any command and any delimiter, we call these things delimiters, separators. So when you check space, you will see a line being added in between, separating your data like that.
Yeah.
So that shows that is how your data is going to be separated to new columns. And then now you click on next. So it depends with which delimiter is separating your data. It can be a comma, it can be a semicolon, it can be what. So here we specify the destination of our first name. Where do we want our first name? Do we want to replace the existing? If we don't change, it will replace the full name with the first name, and then the last name will go to the next cell. But now we have to specify the destination of our results. So you select under destination there, under destination, select first, the cell B2. Select B2. No, not B2, sorry, B1. Just select B1. But I think even the first name will be included, and I did not want that to be included. No, you don't select everything. Don't select everything. I did not want that to be included, so I'll suggest that you close that entire sheet, the entire dialog, and only select, leave out full name title, leave out the titles, because the title will also be included in separation. You can see there it has already been included in the preview, and we don't want it.
Okay, so
just
I cancel.
Yeah, just cancel, and now select Mark Imbo, from Mark Imbo to Faith Kahindi. Select from Mark Imbo, yeah, like that. So you leave out the titles and then go to the data text to column, click on it, and then at the limiters, click on next, and then check space is there, is already there, that's okay. Yeah, and then next. Now we change the destination is B2. So select B2, yes. Click there, B2, yeah, like that. Then click on the upload, turn back, that icon, click on it. Okay, so there we go. Now you click on finish. Click on finish. And that is the magics of Microsoft Excel has already separated our data. So whenever we have, whichever data we have, be it thousands and thousands, it will be able to do that. And you can be able to easily separate the data. So we have learned on how we can combine data. We have learned on how we can separate data. We have learned how we can enter data manually. We have learned how we can enter data using form. We have learned how we can create data validation criteria for both categorical data and continuous data. So ensure that you provide your feedback in the chat section. There's a feedback form in the chat section. Tomorrow we have Kobo Toolbox webinar. Tomorrow, which is 22nd of June, we have the Kobo Toolbox webinar. That's for data collection tool. That will be training from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. East African time. So if you are interested in joining the webinar, the link will be provided in our WhatsApp group and also via the email so that you can be able to